to our shores with a suitcase dream, chasing the glow of that golden beam from far off lands where shadows lie. Here they find a brighter sky. Every step, every mile, they're reaching for the American style. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. Factories hum with a steady grace, ideas born in this boundless space. A light bulb flash, a towering steel in every corner. The promise feels real. From the ground to the stars, we're built on dreams, we're raising bars. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for. The grass is greener in America, where freedom sings, where hearts run wild. The grass is greener in America, a shining city, a dream compiled, the place the world keeps reaching for.
Hey folks, welcome back to the program. This is Chris live in Central Pennsylvania. What's that? Something's not right. Oh, I thought I saw a spot there. Welcome back. It's the Kaffee Klatsch here on the channel. Welcome back. Okay, just double checking the sound, make sure it's good. Okay, so we just had an interview with Grant O'Moore out of Iowa, Burlington, Iowa, sharing his experiences as a refugee in the States. Question here was, what's Ohio like? Well, like any other place, it has lovely places and sucky places. I lived in Ohio. I went to high school and college in Ohio. Went to Ohio University in Athens, Ohio, and attended New Lexington High School in Perry County, Ohio. And it has its ups and downs. You know, it's got its poverty, it's got its wealth, it's got beautiful places, it's got ugly places. But Ohio is in the Midwest, and it's epitome of America. Everything you find in America, you're going to find in Ohio. Yep. So yeah, it's fine. Just depends where you're at. Okay. All right, let's get back to the chat and see what people are saying here in the beginning. All right, wow, lots of new members. Let me turn the alert back on here because it was turned off the last stream because I didn't want to interfere. Mixie, welcome to you. Thank you for membership. Michelle Duchess, thank you for your membership. Koos Liebenberg, thank you. Twinkle Toes. Anya Bezuidenhout, I think maybe somebody bought the memberships. Mark Myberg, willingly participating in Refugee chat. Mark, thank you for the super chat. Oh, it's Patriot. Rooster, welcome to you. Thank you for your long membership there. You've been there for a bit. All right. The other guys all are new ones. They've got RDP houses. So, by the way, your RDP house does not come equipped with a fire pole. So you're going to have to build that on your own. We don't provide that. Felicity Duprier, welcome to you. Hendo is back. JSA Africa. Sammy, I'm afraid that I shan't be able to take part tonight as I'm too flat health-wise. I'm sorry to hear that, Sammy. I hope that you're well, and thank you for popping on. Hopefully you got a view from you being in here. Utopi, Golda Kruger. Questions galore, okay. Work people, rap, bid bunny, Francois Thron. And there's work people gave, I am solo for a green card in USA. Do I need to have birth certificate that has both my parents' dates on it? I don't know about their ID numbers, but yes, supposed to have both their names and birth dates on it, work people, but don't lose sleep. You don't need it to come to America. It's just for the green card. You can't apply for a green card until you've been here for 12 months. So it gives you 12 months to secure it in the meantime. I know that Home Affairs is not very helpful, so I wouldn't lose a lot of sleep over it. The key thing is to get here, okay? They make exceptions for people in certain circumstances. I don't know how it's going to go for South Africans. The first South Africans won't even begin to be able to apply for a green card until May 11th or May 12th of this year. So we still got 5 months before the first South Africans can apply for green cards who came over under this program, and then we'll know. Zona Blumzanuk says the power's back on. Peter Feldman, welcome to you. Kaffee. S2A South African and USA. No, we didn't start. We were doing the other stream. It was a refugee interview. You must have missed that with Grant. Okay. Okay. Bicycle accident the whole time. Are they excited to be in the USA? Oh, well, they only had one bicycle accident. They're excited. Thank you, Wendy, for the interview. Yeah, you tried riding a bike in the snow. Try riding in a black ice. That's why I need a hip issue. Because I flew off my bike on black ice. You can't see black ice. Yep. Going around a curve. Wiped out in Germany. Monster Max is back. Arctic is here. Wendy. Muddy Bezuidenhout, welcome to you. Berkeley's, hello to you. And someone just gave 10 gifted memberships. I'm going to turn off the alert box for that. And then Francois Thron, Ian Moon, hello to you. Uman Nell. Louva Eve, welcome back. Anthony Nodier. What a nice interview. Just waiting for the last interview. Okay. All right, Eudoria, welcome to you. And Kathy's back. Good to see you again. Virtual Western Cape. Okay, Mr. Echo, Francois Thron. I feel more positive after the interview. Well, Francois, that's one reason why we do them. One reason why I did. But did you see somebody came in the chat? It was very nasty. I deleted that. I gave that person a timeout. They went away. I don't know what their problem is. Why they have to be such nasty people. If that's how people behave, that's not a person you want to know. You have to come into somebody's broadcast when someone's talking about their positive experience and spew your hatred and negativity. You're not a nice person. The person that did that. Relinda, what's Ohio like? It rocks. And it also has crappy parts. There's parts of Cleveland I wouldn't want to be near. Your predictions on how many you think are approved and the average daily coming over this month. Awesome interview, by the way. I predicted it would start at 50. It was at 50, and that it will grow this month. I don't know. I don't know what capacity they're adding. I don't know what money they've found, but I wouldn't be surprised to see them ramp it up to 75 per day as the month goes on. We'll know in early February what the results were. But in the meantime, we don't have the answer. That's my prediction, and I know for a fact that we're over 50 when they start again on the 5th of January, which was the date I said they would restart on, and I hit it right on the nose. As far as predictions, how many approved? When you mean approved, they've been screened and they're just waiting for transportation. I would guess there's 3,000 or 4,000 people potentially waiting to fly right now. Maybe it's 2,500, but there are plenty of people waiting to fly. Yep. Enjoy the positive interview with Grant and happiness he brings. Okay, Mother Katie, what's up? Jane Seward. I always want to say Jans. So Jane Seward, how's it going? Marlene Gregorio, welcome to you. Max DK, welcome to you. We salt the roads, yes. Charles Van Olsen's back, the voice of reason. Okay. Jared says, very positive interview. Feel a bit more positive after the interview with my family's return will come, says Golda Kruger. Okay. No, Monster Max, I don't have a problem with my car rusting. That's something I grew up with. They use different kinds of salt, and they use different solutions now. It's not the same as the rock salt we used back in the day. And also the material for cars is much different. A lot of them got a lot of fiberglass and plastic in them, which doesn't rust. Bad for the paint job, but it doesn't rust. Okay. Work people. Ohio's nice lakes. Well, not all of Ohio's near lakes. I mean, if you go from where I live to get to the lake, it's 4-hour drive or 3-hour drive. And Red Truck Big wants to confirm. Okay, hopefully that was helpful for you from the last stream there. Francois Throne. Jennifer Ed Corp BC, welcome to you. Okay. Months notice you rent a prop before you must leave. What, in South Africa? It depends on the place. In America, you usually have to give, a month's notice. Only state a South African attorney can practice without needing to do an LMM is California. I don't know what an LLM is, Andrew Knoll. Many states you can practice law. You simply have to pass the bar. You don't have to be a graduate of law school. Not everyone. Some require it. Whole life feels stagnant now because my family's case has slipped through the cracks. Well, you don't know that your case has slipped through the cracks. Rena, you're very welcome. My pleasure. Why do I need to do a poll? What's the poll for? End of the month, I apply after I get a passport. Rain or black ice is one of the most dangerous winter road conditions because it's nearly invisible. Exactly. And that's why my hip is messed up. I landed squarely on the hip 40 years ago last year. About a year ago. So it's been 41 years ago since I landed on my hip, and it took decades to destroy my hip. Since they said they are going to pause SNAP in Minnesota, will that affect refugees going there? No, because SNAP is paused for all refugees. You don't get it anymore now. It's crazy. The big, beautiful bill eliminated food stamps for refugees. You don't get it anymore. But there's plenty of food pantries and lots of help. Yep, you don't get it anymore. So, yeah, that doesn't have any effect whatsoever. Many people are stressed about divorce decrees. What do you do if you simply can't get a document? I have no idea, Mustard Olive. I have no idea what you do. You'll have to ask that when you go through the process. Like, I can't get one. I don't understand South Africans. I mean, is your country that broken that you can't register birth properly? You can't register divorces properly? You can't transfer property? Look, I know the answer. It is that broken. But I mean, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. I mean, I don't have divorce degrees or marriage certificates, but if I had those things, I would have them. I have a copy of my birth certificate. I have all my documentation, my discharge paperwork from the Army. I have every account I've canceled over the years. I keep copies of them either electronically or hard copy. So I don't. South Africans, man. So Jared wants a poll. Knee11, what's going on, man? Since February, with programs since February. Marius Bouillon, I presume that you've done the ERM email, you've done a statement of interest and or an intake questionnaire. If you haven't done the intake questionnaire, you're not going anywhere. Go to the embassy website and finish it. I assume you've done that. Grant has a good mindset and should set an example for aspiring refugees. Go-getters, yep. And if you got canceled, had to cancel flight, oh, that's messed up, Charles. Got canceled. That's the first time I heard of interviews being canceled. Maybe they don't have enough people now. Idaho Garden Girl. I haven't seen her in a while. How you doing, man? Ask for a friend. Can they get divorced in the U.S.? 90% through. Okay. You can divorce anywhere in the world. You can be divorced in America. Is the U.S. government still going to have a shutdown this month? Thank you for all your time. Audrey Labaskakny. Nobody knows. The Democrats were not inclined to do it, so I don't know. I think it's a 60% chance it'll happen. It'll be on the 31st if it does. Yaku Joubert, welcome to you. You've been here a long time. You got a Statue of Liberty. Okay. You have to go to the court where the divorce is finalized and play nice with the clerk. Take them for lunch until you get one. Shylock says. Busy members tonight. Bring it, guys. Awesome seeing all the support. Please don't feel funny if you need to hold off a bit. We appreciate everything. Okay. Do you know perhaps what is happening to flights for people that was approved for September, November? I heard very few got flights. Natasha Postumus, yes. The answer is not very few. Some have, and some haven't. I don't understand why. I've addressed the issue with the U.S. government, and hopefully something will be done about it. I don't know what's going on there. It's very frustrating. I mean, it's one reason why I should go to South Africa, so I can try to find out what the hell's going on with this program on that end. James says the trolling is a side effect of social media, I suspect. General attitude, people seem more reasonable years ago. I don't think people are more reasonable, James. They just had no opportunity to be obnoxious. Now they can be obnoxious at will. All the recent events with ICE and the USA degrade the relationship with them, Republicans. Well, there was no relationship with them, Republicans, Democrats. The Democrats in Congress are asses. But the Democrats and Republicans worked well together outside of Congress, and they work well together elsewhere. Keep track of what is coming out of the House and Senate. We're already seeing some Republicans voting across the aisle with the Dems. Let's hope we don't see another government shutdown. Exactly. Virtual Western Cape. Your case is in a database. It won't slip through the cracks. Databases don't delete themselves. Exactly. Unless they're EFF databases. Does anyone know how that refugee roadmap thing works? Because it's very confusing. It seems my calls and checks are not in order. Well, see, that's the problem, Peter Feldman, with charts and with dashboards. They're not helpful. This isn't a linear process. That's the first thing you should know. They show that little snake. It goes like this. You do this, you do that. That's BS. It's not a linear process. The moment that you submit your intake questionnaire, it goes to security office, and they start your background investigation. But on that chart, it doesn't say background investigation first. It says you do this, then you do this. Your medicals could be here, and then they're back up here. Or they can only schedule for medicals, and rather than waste an appointment, they put you up here before they even interview. Just forget about the linear process. Just do what they tell you to do. Complete the checks they tell you to complete. And when they tell you you've got it, you got it. I mean, it's the best advice I can offer. People are getting themselves wound up for nothing. Camp counselor, Salvation Army. It was on a lake. We swam with water snakes. Ugh. I know New Carrollton. I don't know Carrollton. I know New Carrollton. Barbie. New Carrollton is in Central Ohio. Been waiting 12 weeks since interviews and medicals and have not heard a thing. That is a while, 36146. 12 weeks is a while, except when you realize that half that time doesn't count. Half the time doesn't count. September 26th to November 14th doesn't count. 47 days out the window. Then 17 days or 20 days again. So about 60 of those 90 days you're talking about don't exist. No one was doing anything. The government was shut down. Then we had Christmas Exodus. So it's not as long as you think it is. It's long in real time, but it's not long in government time. It's only been about a month, not 3 months. We've done all our interviews and we're waiting 2 months now. Again, you're not waiting 2 months. You've been waiting less than a month. Less than a month. What's insane, Wills? Kathy says, I was willing to be interviewed, but the questions asked feels intimidating. Everything asked was except what Grant have. Well, yeah, it was a bit much. Grant was willing to do it. If you're unwilling, I can sense when people are unwilling, and I back off. And I also answer questions from my personal information, which frankly none of nobody's damn business. But people were just really being nosy today. Some of them. Kathy, you can still do the interview with me. Van Kezi. People, please don't ask questions. Make statements to the colonel that he has no power of answering. I got a confirmed booking for interview. However, they provided the wrong address. Telephone is sent. Confirmation too late. They tried contacting us in the response. Rabbit Bunny, that's interesting. Send me an email. Have any of those guys who sent emails that denial status come back? No. Well, they may have. I didn't see it. I haven't checked again, but maybe someone has. But no, I didn't see anything. Maybe somebody might be in the chat and they did. They don't want to expose themselves. But when I last checked, I didn't see any responses. We did a statement of interest in early June, and Julius rep mid-November. Have received email or call. What is U.S. RAP? You talking about the intake questionnaire? Well, Ms. Cutman, the June thing may not have gone anywhere because they're overwhelmed. They're still building the program, so it really doesn't matter. Like the PRM email and the statement of interest doesn't matter. The intake questionnaire is what matters now. When you did the intake questionnaire, if you did it in early November, you haven't received a call yet or an email, it's not unusual. but it's not concerning yet. But I would pay attention to it. Yes. Top secret clearance due to my work. Can this delay my application? No, not unless you committed some crimes. Your clearance doesn't mean anything to us. God bless, a lot of this jumped ahead on me here. Wow, really jumped ahead. Okay, Boer Blom, 10 months membership. Thank you, Colonel, for all the info since the beginning. Going for my second interview soon. Without your advice, this would have been very difficult. Well, you're very welcome, Boer Blom, but a lot of people are making it much more difficult than it is. I understand you have medical system, no public hospitals. I understand you can be what's this? You can be one operation away from real and very expensive. How does it work? Well, okay, snippets. First off, you're spreading unsubstantiated rumors. Who said there were no public hospitals? Of course we have public hospitals. You mean government-run hospitals? Of course we have government-run hospitals. The Veterans Administration is an entirely government-run operation for veterans. So there's one. Military hospitals, all government-run for military and their family members. So first off, that's not true. As far as public hospitals, hospitals being owned by other entities, some states own hospitals, some municipalities own hospitals, some cities own hospitals. Yeah, so there's no such thing as no public hospitals. That's a myth. Number two, you can be one operation away from ruin. That's potentially true if you don't bother to get insurance coverage, but if you're a responsible adult and get insurance coverage, then that's not going to be the case. It doesn't mean medical care is free. And you're just making a statement as if 330 million people fall into that boat. I was promised free medical care from myself and my family members, if I had any, the rest of my entire natural life as a consequence of being a military retiree. That was a lie. The bastards in Congress took that away long before I retired, decades before I retired, while I was still on active duty. You no longer get free medical care unless you're at a military installation, and then you can get it at a military hospital. So if I live in North Carolina near Fort Bragg, I can go to Fort Bragg. But then they push retirees to the back of the queue. You only get it if there's space available for free. I don't get medical care for free. I have to pay for it. I get care at the clinic, which I have to drive to, which is small, if they can provide it. But that's just primary care. They don't do much for me. They usually refer me for everything out, and I have to have a copay, plus I have to pay for insurance. So I have to pay for something that's supposed to have been free. But we have public hospitals. We have private hospitals. We have religious hospitals. We have Lutheran hospitals. We have the Shriners Hospital for children with birth defects and disabilities. We have all kinds of hospitals. That blanket statement, snippets, is just not even remotely true. Not even remotely true. How does it work? It works lots of ways. If you're poor, you don't pay for jack shit. If you're middle income, you get squeezed. If you're wealthy, you don't worry about it. You pay for what you need to. That's how it works. Divorce document must be in English. I had to find a translator. Exactly. Yeah, well, they're not going to read Kosa or Afrikaans. What kind of work is available for moms with sickly kids that need care? Why aren't the moms taking care of the sickly kids? That's my question to you. How long before the interview date will they confirm the location? As I said 1,000 times, Gray Man, and you've been here on many of these occasions, you'll find out usually the night before. That's not the way I would do it, but that's how they do it. Yaku Kruger just wanted some information. Once you are approved, just waiting on flights, what happens with the current U.S. visa? I think that your visa gets changed and that one goes away, I believe. Exactly, Arctic. All those asking if this time and that time waiting is normal. Yes, it is. Be patient. Don't you see other people asking the same questions? Is South Africa that broken? I lost my husband when I was 7 months pregnant, went to register my child's birth, gave the death certificate, and was told the father was also has to sign. Yeah, that's insane, Sigourney. That's crazy. Sorry you lost your husband, so your child never knew your husband. Knew the father. Passport does not have a copy of my 2006 U.S. visa. Would I still need to get a visa from U.S. Embassy? Veroshka, what? For the refugee program? No. If you're coming a refugee, that's taken care of. But do you have your old passport? Usually they keep it so you have that. Your 2006 U.S. visa is not that good anymore. They do 10-year visas. It's 2026. That's 20 years ago. Yes, new applicants are multiplying. People are suddenly finding out about it. Meant to accommodate for 3 days in a row, so I guess it has to be rescheduled for when they can. Sure why they gave us a date and then cancel. I don't know, Charles. That's odd. Alan says, for missing divorce decree, super chat, do an affidavit saying it's lost. Oh, okay, hang on a second. Come on. Give me a second here, folks. I'm just trying to fix something. There it is. Do an affidavit saying it's lost and add the dates of marriage and divorce details, husband, wife, and I never last name. There you go. There you go. Hopefully you get your medical rescheduled, Candace. Thank you. If we are refugee in the U.S. and U.S. intervenes in South Africa, how would that affect refugees in the U.S.? It would have no effect on you whatsoever. None. Why would it have an effect on you? No effect. Got divorced in 1993. Lost my documents during one of my times I moved. I spoke to an attorney, and he said there's no way I can get it too long ago. Well, you have to get an affidavit then. How was the rugby predictions? I was perfect until today. I got them almost all right, and then today I got all 4 wrong. Today was a disaster. Today was an absolute disaster for rugby for me. Let me look at yesterday. Let me look at it. So here, I'll show you my Super Brew. It was perfect until today. It all went sideways. Oh, yeah. Well, I didn't get them all wrong, but I got one wrong. So here you go. So here's Friday. Let's look at this. Okay, watch this. Okay, so here you go. Friday. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 consecutive games I picked right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bonus points. I got one wrong out of 14. 13 out of 14. That was Friday and Saturday. But look at Sunday. Ugh. I got 1, 2, 3 games right, and I got 4 games wrong. So 13, 14, 15, 16, and 1, 2, 3, 5. 16 and 5 I wound up because these games screwed me. The Osprey let me down. The Stormers destroyed my hope. Toulon won. Okay. And Toulousain screwed up. Yep. And Bordeaux won. Every time I pick Northampton, they screw me. Yep. So I was beautiful yesterday. Look at all that green. So I thought I was going to get the cap. I don't think I'm going to get a cap now. So I wound up being 16 wins and 5. That's pretty good. 21 games, I got 16 right. But I was just rolling, man. It was amazing. It just went sideways. Don't trust a reporter modern mind like a maniac and daily. It just made miserable. Yeah, quit paying attention to the portals. No, Dylan, I've heard nothing new since I made the video. Keep on going through life. Be patient. Listen to the Colonel. Exactly. Exactly. Stop counting the lost days for the festive season and shutdown. He keeps October. No, you didn't. There was no October. Government shut down the entire month of October. Shut down half of November. Shut down half of December. That's 2 months. And didn't open until the 5th of January. That's 9 weeks. Hey, 360. Top secret clearance to do my work. Can this delay my... I already answered that question, Heinrich. Are you not paying attention? Or am I backwards in the chat again? Date of acceptance and email date is a month apart. What does it matter what your approval date is, Cindy? What do you need an approval date for? Dylan says, I felt disrespectful for fools asking. Yeah, don't sweat it, Dylan. Where are we at here? I guess jumping. The chat's jumping. I can get back. There we go. Okay. Slippery pickle. Can I go to Saipan? I'm going to send you to Saipan. I'm glad to see some people know what Saipan is. Okay, now, got our decision letter the first week of November. Really hoping our departure soon. Can't wait to start a new life. Yeah, the program seems as broken as South End Rugby. Unless you're one of the hundreds of people who are flying over now, Chaos. And there's a lot. Might be bringing Biltong and bribe rookies, but we're also bringing concertinas. We have done our medicals already 15th December. What do you think we'll be out for, Jerry? Vendit, I have no idea. I don't know what the queue is in front of you. No idea. No idea. You have people here saying that they were approved in September and October. So, or in October, not September. So, Rabbit Bunny, what's going on, man? What's the email I can use to send for the wrong address? There is no email. There is no email. You talking about what email of RSC? There is none. There's no way to contact them. Nothing you can do about it. It's raining. Hey, Jory, what's going on? I have one other person with that name, Jory. It'll take me a while to get my things together, so no use having my head in the clouds while I have to be wide awake here. People should take a deep breath and be happy for others. Yeah, James. But would I need to mention that I am in a union? No. Not unless they're involved in criminal activity. Can one assume if you had a phone call that your pre-screening is clear and that you will get a second call? Well, they should tell you what to expect in the phone call. If they didn't tell you, then I question what you were asking them about. Snippet says, I'm not spreading rumors. I'm asking about what I read. I don't know how the medical system works. I understand medical is very expensive. Is it attainable if you didn't find a job? Again, Snippets, as I've said previously yesterday, and I said on the day before that, and you may have missed it, is that no one is denied care in this country. If you have an injury or an illness, you go to the emergency room, and by law, you must be treated. But that's not an ideal system. An ideal system is you have a primary care provider. You see them at least twice a year. I have a primary care provider. I don't see them twice a year. That's an ideal system. So, I mean, every case is different, Snippets. Everybody's a different situation. So I really can't answer your question. I answered as best I could. And I didn't say you were spreading rumors, or did I say you're spreading rumors? If it came across that way, my apologies. That's what I'm saying. Those are myths about America. Aren't you the one that said something about no public hospitals? That's what I said. That's a myth. It's not true. Thank you for your follow-up. Thoughts on Cleveland? Not my favorite place. I visited there recently because I wasn't getting my retirement check a few years ago. So I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I went to watch the ice hockey for the Cleveland team of the American Hockey League. And on the way there, I stopped at Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, and I went to the monument for McKinley, which is there. It's okay. Yeah, Lou, you're right. You just have to wait, unfortunately. What's frustrating in human nature is that we've done everything all interviews, medical decision letter, and cultural orientation completed successfully on December 12th. All right, so December 12th. 13th. Hang on, let me just get a calendar here. So let's do the math here, okay. December 12th. They stopped working on December 15th. Well, let's say the 19th, okay. So you had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's been 10 working days. You're frustrated? 10 working days? You're frustrated the U.S. government processing tens of thousands of people hasn't got your response in 10 working days. Again, stop this. This is not direct to you, but stop this nonsense about October, November, December. Again, that's unreasonable and unfair for people to claim that they've been waiting a period of time that they didn't wait. You didn't wait then. There was no work. It's been 10 working days since the 12th of December. 10, and that's generous. I included the week of the 17th, which technically wasn't even a working week for many of these people. 10 working days. 10 working days. And despite that, over 50 people flew in the 5th, more than that flew in the 6th, more than that flew in the 7th, more than that flew in the 8th. So, I mean, guys, you don't have realistic expectations. I don't know what you're thinking here, but some people need to put their thinking caps on here. I've already answered that question. I'm not going to keep answering the same question over and over again. Is it normal? Yes, it's normal. I'm not aware of a single person being denied. I'm aware of several people claiming they've been denied. Not one of them has provided me documentation to prove it or explain to me why they were denied. I had someone tell me they were denied orally over the phone, telephonically. That's not how it's done. Professor G is in the same quandary. He's got a couple people claiming that they've been denied, but no one's ever proven or shown. The only people I can say unequivocally that have been denied access to the program, they weren't denied, we weren't disapproved, but they were denied, is the two scamsters, the Fundamental Clown and his buddy, who they took a selfie with me at Centurion at my meet and greet, and then tried to scam people and saying, oh, look, the Colonel endorses us, and people called him out, so then he started attacking me. Well, I went to the Colonel's meet and greet, I really wasn't impressed. Well, you're a scumbag. I'm not impressed by you either, buddy. So, that's the only two people. Now, I've said from the very beginning, that's why I made the latest video, some people will be denied. Some of you are criminals. Yeah. Some of you have shady backgrounds. Some of you are untrustworthy. You got 4 DUIs. You think we're going to let you in the country so you can murder somebody on the road? Not going to happen. And if that is you and it hurts your feelings, that's too bad. That's why we do background checks. That's why we have an adjudication process. That's why we take a whole person look. Doesn't mean if you had a DUI, you'll never come over. But if you've got 4 of them, or if you've committed criminally negligent manslaughter by hitting somebody in a car because you've been drinking, there will be people denied. Of course there will be people denied. Not everybody's worthy. Was asked if a Link family was willing to stay in one house. We said yes, nothing since that call, remember. Well, that doesn't tell me anything, Mr. and Miss Smith. Who asked you that? That was at Refugee Assistance Office in America? Was that USCIS? That was that RSC? I don't, that doesn't tell me anything. And again, into November, you've had 15 working days since then. Andreas, thank you for putting up with us. Looks like we give you gray hair. No, the gray hair is natural. But the good news is it's all there. It's thick. It's all me. It's not a rug. And I'm very happy because I've been bald when I was in basic training. It wasn't a pretty sight. Okay. Got my first email 5 days before the interview. That's pretty good. Aya Kono. Most people don't have that. Do you have any info on 88-year-old granny? Is she able to walk to work? Oh, I know. I didn't talk to her. I talked to her family. I did an interview with a family as an 88-year-old grandmother who came over. That's the extent of it. I didn't inquire. I don't know many 88-year-olds at work. This is not normal. Would help to email the Amerikaners email if I complete the intake question in November or just wait. Has not been contacted at all. Barbie, I'm not going to give you advice to contact or not contact the Amerikaners. There's just a couple of those people. So if you feel it's that important, you can send them a note. But I mean, they're inundated. All right. Well, I don't know why people are living in spare rooms or living in their cars or living in caravans when you haven't got a flight. I've said this many times. I don't know why people are unwinding all their belongings when you haven't been approved and you don't have a flight. You've got to use good judgment when it comes to this program. You have to use good judgment. The only people I feel empathy for are the people who had flights booked and were told to come to Joburg or go to Cape Town for your flights. And they went, only to have it ganked on them. And it's only a small number of people because some people had, if it was a couple weeks down the road, they said they hadn't got rid of their stuff yet. Destroy my old passport, wouldn't give me a new one if I refused. I was not happy about it, but I don't want. Oh, gotcha, Varoshka. Yeah, but the visa's no good. Why do you need the visa, Varoshka? I'm missing something here. Your visa was for 10 years? That's how long they do the maximums. Usually for 6 months or 3 months or a year, but I'm guessing you had a 10-year visa. Why do you need it other than for memories? If you have a visa issued to you in the past, the United States government will know it. Look, I can find the arrivals of my ancestors who went to Cuba on holiday back in the 19th century and came back to America. The Port of Entry in Miami, the State Department has the information. If you had a visa with the U.S. to come here, they have a record of it. So I'm not sure why you need the visa, Varushka. I'm trying to figure that out. Yeah, a lot of new viewers, Colonel Wyatt fan. Andre says, the lady called you on the 2nd of January, very friendly. And that was during the period when the government workers weren't working. Email for interview location, but no address. They're supposed to let you know before the date. I have all my passports too, expats pen. Yep. Including my diplomatic, my official, and my tourist passports. Got them all. Well, that's not true. They destroyed one of my diplomatic passports, which had so many stamps in it, and they stole one of my tourist passports, the bastards, and one of my officials. So I have 3 of them I don't have. But I was able to get the rest back. It just depends what people are processing it, and they don't always have their head screwed on straight. Gave you a choice of 2 dates for interviews. That was the last I heard from them. Well, then they must have somehow pushed you to the back of the queue. I don't know why. Interviews with medical in October. My husband had to do the sputum test, phone IOM on the 6th January. The nurse said they got the results on the 5th, and after 10 weeks, we pray for the news this week. All right, Monica. Excuse me. It just jumped on me. I'm trying to find it. Good Lord, it really jumped quite a bit. Oh, there it is. Old passport. Okay. Don't know if this is an appropriate question. Once someone goes for a sputum test, how long does it take before you get a response? It's not an inappropriate question, but there's no standard answer. It depends on the service provider. If they give the results quickly, and if it comes in, if it's in the guys, I don't think people understand how the world works. Okay, all right. Let me be devil's advocate. Okay, so I'm working in the office waiting for your medical results, and I've got 3,000 other cases I'm dealing with. I get an electronic copy. I print it out. Okay, this is for the fundum of a family. Negative. All right. Now, okay. So that's number 121 of the 300 I'm working on today. There's a fire drill today, or I have to leave the building. Okay, I'll get to it tomorrow. Eventually, I get to your thing. I enter it in the system. It goes to the computer. Then it goes on to the next person. And that's after it gets to them. So, guys, it depends on who the medical provider is, how quickly, how responsible they are. Some of them sit on stuff. Some of them don't send stuff in a timely fashion. And if the people responsible for your case don't follow it up, it's not like you have a dedicated case officer sitting around making sure every step of your case is taken care of. They're all doing pieces of it. But it's not an inappropriate question, Rena. Question, not on our way to U.S. Lily said that if possible to sign contract for housing only for 3 months if possible in case you get a job and you need to relocate. Yeah, so rental contracts, there's two pieces of that, okay? So states have different laws on rental. Some states you can't kick renters out even if they don't pay rent, just like South Africa. Some states, you have rights as a renter. Some states, it's just this term of the contract. So it just depends what the laws in that state. Now, I'm not an expert on 50 states and 4 territories. You're going to have to figure that out on your own when you get there. As far as signing a contract for 3 months, I get where that's coming from, but that's coming from a handful of people who want to relocate because they're not happy where they're at. So the problem is you sign a contract, you're going to be obliged to pay that for that period, which is usually 12 months. Rental agreements are usually 12 months. They get renewed automatically. Sometimes they're not automatically. You have to sign them. So as far as suggestions, do what you think is appropriate. But most places won't give you a 3-month lease. They won't do that. They don't want to change people out every 3 months. I mean, if they're running prostitutes through their building, maybe they won't do that, but not for normal people. First thing to do to let you know what documents to bring with them. I have a dossier and didn't want to annoy them. Roscoe, we've covered this 1,000 times. Somebody want to weigh in on that one? Yes, Rooster999. There are restrictions on working for federal, state, and local authorities if you have to have a clearance. Many jobs require you to be an American citizen. Yep. But not all. Not all. Barbie's obsessed. Okay. I've been telling you people, they don't want to listen to me. Maybe you'll listen to Grant. Yeah, north of Guam. Yeah, the dashboard's a bad idea. Received a pre-approval September, still waiting for our flights. Pre-approval is not approval. So you're not waiting on flights. You're waiting for them to finish adjudication of your case. Yes, One Nation Under God is part of the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you, Chris. I feel much better now since we've been waiting for flights since August. Really appreciate it. No worries, Felicity. Hopefully that explains it. And people don't think about these things. I mean, I get where you're coming from. It's your case. You're not familiar with the government. That's why I offer this free thing to do for people. That's why I do it. Because not everybody knows. You don't know. You don't have the insight. You haven't been there. How could you be expected to know? So, I mean, most people don't realize that, you're sitting here complaining about, 3 months, but it's really just 1 month. What do you mean 1 month? Well, because nobody was there. What do you mean they weren't there? Well, we shut down for 43 days and we had Christmas Exodus. So a lot of things got stacked up. The things that RSC and Amerikaners were doing kept piling up. That's the other thing. So you got RSC and you got Amerikaners. Okay, here's the stack, and they're still working. The Americans were on Christmas Exodus. They're still working. Here's the next one. And here's the next one. Here's the next one. Here's the next one. The damn thing keeps piling up. So you come back and suddenly your inbox is this high, and it was this high when you left. Who's been contacted will have a dashboard. Okay, yeah, well, again, Virtual Western Cape, I recommend you stay away from the dashboard. It just causes nothing but grief. All medicals confirmation done via email from U.S. No, I'm on my Michelle. I can't answer that question. Husband had to do the sputum test. You phoned the International Organization of Migration? That's an unusual step. Southwest U.S., I lived in the Southwest. I lived in Southern California. I lived in Arizona. It's fine. You're welcome, Sean. I think I'm going to stop watching all these YouTube videos on refugee program. Just forget about it till and if it happens. Well, quids, that's an option. The other option is just watch the news programs. And the prepared videos that aren't refugee related. This program will eventually come to an end. So my question is, if J.D. Vance, no, where do you get that from, Max? Where do you get it comes from an end? Is the law ended? Has the law ended? No. The law has been in place for 46 years. Immigration and Nationality Act of 1980, 46 years ago. This program isn't going away. The preferential status for Afrikaners may go away. Yeah. But that doesn't mean the program will go away for South Africans. Immigration program exists. Not going anywhere. Alluded to DUI being considered a crime worthy of denial. No, I didn't. You didn't listen. See, you hear what you want to hear. I said a DUI that they didn't share. An omission. I also said a pattern of behavior. You got 3 DUIs. That's a problem. DUI 9 years ago, no damage, property, life, a fine paid, and what am I chance proof? They should be fined, Jerome. Unless, you have other things that show that you're immature and irresponsible. If you have things that show you're immature and irresponsible, then you're a risk, and they don't have to prove it. So no, if you had a DUI 9 years ago, it shouldn't be a showstopper. But again, that's not what I said in my video. I said that they weren't truthful. Thoughts on Cincinnati, Ohio, or Allentown, Pennsylvania? Cincinnati, Ohio is okay. Allentown sucks. It's little freaking Latin America now. That's not why it sucks. It just sucks because the town is crappy. I wouldn't want to live there. Right. It's 203,000, Sven. People keep forgetting that. The USCIS has been directed by the president to review 203,000, maybe it's 230, I forget, whatever. Over 200,000 cases for refugees during the Biden regime, many of which were fraudulent. So, guys, you're not the only show in town. 20th December, clearly unexpected. We'll wait and see. Okay, cool, Jason. That's interesting. Getting emotional will not make the process move. Yeah, and yelling at me and calling me names and calling me a liar will not make the process go any faster either. Going into other programs and saying the colonel lies will not get you anywhere, except on my shit list, because it's not true. Who goes? Me alone? No, you go with your family. Yeah, people complain about waiting a few days for outcomes or case need to chill. There are people who haven't heard any communication yet and have been waiting for months. Exactly, Janine. Yeah, I did say the cap is not set in stone. I can give you 2 examples of where it has been set in stone. We never authorized 168,000 Afghans to be dumped in our country in a matter of 3 weeks after Joe Biden's idiotic decision to withdraw from Afghanistan. Yet there they were, dumped in our midst in a matter of weeks. We never authorized that. We never proved that. And that was well beyond the cap that year. We also didn't authorize 300,000 Ukrainians to come here. They were unanticipated, and they did it. I wouldn't worry about the cap. If we wind up worrying about the cap, then we worry about the cap. If it gets reached and they don't lay by us, then it happens. Nothing you can do about it. So why worry about it? I don't think it's going to apply. No, have I heard of? Oh my gosh, Mark Mendes. Obviously, someone new who doesn't know the program. Yes, I'm the first person to interview Morgan Alsop. I interviewed Morgan, and we talked about this. And then the whole stink with Nicole Feldman and Morgan, and the whole blow up and Project X and the pet lift. Yes, I've interviewed all of them. I've also investigated all of them. Seems like they're trying to help. Yes, they are, but they haven't made much progress. Project X claims they got pets over. I got one photograph of pets in crates, but I know confirmation where they went or who had them or anything like that, so I can't confirm anything. All I can tell you is their claim. I don't have a reason to doubt their claim, but all I can tell you is their claim. I can't verify. They didn't share the information with me, so I can't verify it. I haven't interviewed them. And then with Pet Lift, they haven't brought anyone over to my knowledge yet. They're still working on it. Michelle Duchess, 88-year-old, you were way behind in the chat. That was like 40 minutes ago. People got their flights the 5th of January. What is the notice period? 1 week, few days. Natasha, why do you keep asking the same questions? We just did an interview in which it was talked about. I mentioned the Stoltze family had 3 days, and Grant O'More had 4 days. Yeah, Jason, you had to stand in line for 7 hours. You know, that's terrible. I'm not completely understanding. Are people that only are being killed or suffering from crime? What do you mean from persecution? Okay. So first, Kingdom Son, I'm going to say I don't understand your question. Do you not know what persecution is? Maybe you don't. Maybe English isn't your first language, so I'm not going to be pedantic or condescending or rude, so don't take it as such because I'm not being that way. Unjust persecution means someone who's being harmed because of something that's unfair. Faith, sex, gender, orientation, political affiliation, skin color. Being a victim of crime is insufficient basis to become a refugee. We are not the world's safe haven for victims of crime. The world is a violent place because humans are in it. Humans suck. Humans are terrible. They molest children. They rape women. They rape men. They rob. They murder. They run over people. They poison people. They do all kinds of things. Many human beings are repulsive creatures. It is not our mission to save the world from repulsive creatures. That is your government's responsibility. However, persecution based on race or political affiliation is a basis for refugee status. If you are a victim of crime and the proof is there or enough evidence is there to support that you are a victim of crime because of your skin color, then that's racially motivated. That's racial animus. Racial animus is a racial discrimination. Racial discrimination is unjust and it's persecution. Therefore, if that happened to you on that basis, then if you're a victim of crime and it's persecution, then you can get status. But you can't simply go in, I was robbed. So what? Everybody gets robbed. I was carjacked. So what? Everybody gets carjacked. My family member was sexually assaulted. So what? Sadly, lots of people are sexually assaulted. Doesn't mean it was anything to do with racism. If you can prove it was race, or at least articulate a reasonable expectation of why it was race, then you can qualify. Does that help, Kingdom Son? Hopefully that helps. You look like Saddam's wife. With me, is that because I work abroad and refuse to work for Southern companies? At least I'm financially secure. I was told that I can't leave the country until I'm over. Alan, I don't understand your question. Pre-screen 20 November, medicals 20 December, and all is realistic time. Let's move on with your lives. Okay. Is there any chance someone is checking up on the Kenyans who are helping us with this program? Yes, there is. I can confirm that. What do you mean checking up on them? Oversight? Yes. People must stop bitching about long wait. I've applied and I've been attacked just because our race got hit with a spade. Waiting my turn. Hey, Rudy. No, there's nothing strange about that, Jason. Here's what you do. When you go to Home Affairs and they ask you about your passport, they can ask you that. Why do you need a passport? I need to go to Mauritius. I've got a job offer in Rwanda. Going on holiday. That's what you tell them. Live your life as best you can, and getting worked up will not change anything. In fact, it will make your mind go negative. Exactly. And you treat me like crap. Don't sell your belongings before getting tickets. Hey, Philip. December 30th, Mr. Vibe says. Thank you, Knight of Justice. I think I have an awesome head hair, too. Have you seen me in my Viceroy outfit? That's the Viceroy of Greenland. Check it out. See, it's a little bit longer than it is right now. Yes, more people are waking up to the program. More people are definitely waking up to the program. My goodness, I didn't realize how far behind the chat I am. Couldn't find my old passport. Paid $1,200 for a new one due to lost. Found my old passport a week ago. That sucks, Neff. Missed a book appointment because I have AI mailbox sorter. That sucks. I've also told people from the very beginning, over and over again, check your spam folder, check your spam folder, check your spam folder. Yep. Gray Man, have a good night. I'm sorry you're in a bad mindset. This is some of the refugee families that were previously having issues with their caseworkers. Yes, I've taken care of several of them. Bergmeister, thank you for the 70 Rand super chat. Yes, I've taken care of the folks in Modesto. Got that sorted out. I helped the folks in Austin. That's sorted out. A couple others I've helped out, which I'm not going to disclose. Yeah. I can't help everybody, but help some. All right, you've asked the question again. I've already answered it. Maybe you asked it before I answered it. Yeah, because it's 17 minutes ago. You need to look up the word persecution then, Kingdom, if you don't understand what I'm explaining. A while ago, I assume from here I just wait. Yeah, but what's a while ago? You couldn't have done it before November 4th, so it hasn't been very long. If you do a PowerPoint presentation with text info that you can play in the background in your live chat, would that help? Maybe question? No, I think it's going to help. First interviews December, now waiting for background checks, okay? Rental question regarding norms. Here's an example. It's common to increase the rent by 10% every year. No, it's not. It's not common 10%. It is not uncommon to have your rent increased, and they can do that after your contract. That's why they do 12-month contracts, so they can raise your rent every year. That's why they really do it. But it's not usually. It's not hinged on it. Sometimes it's 5%. Sometimes it's less. Sometimes it's an even amount. If you're paying $950, they might raise to $1,000. Canadian. The thing where some struggle with EAD due to caseworkers, can one do things like buy and sell on Facebook? Yeah, you can. You can. And also, dirty little secret, some people without the EAD are working because they have a Social Security number. You'd have to have a Social Security number. But they're not going to be in trouble because they're entitled to the EAD, just someone sitting on their ass. You do one in-depth program on what the options are regarding the medical system. No, I'm not. I've done that. The video's already there. I've already covered it. It's there. I'm not going to go back and retrace ground snippets. Why are you so obsessed with medical? You have like a $1 billion or $1 million medical issue. You're welcome, Sally. See, someone said 6 weeks now. Someone's saying 8 weeks for sputum test. That's why everything varies. There are no refugee properties on the move. No. They're rental properties normally, or houses that they put you in that are arranged by the refugee agency, and they put you in commercial facilities normally. They don't put you in public housing. I don't know anyone that's in public housing. Can you work as teachers? Sure, if you're qualified, but you have to be qualified in every state. I wanted to teach high school history, but I decided not to because I would have to spend an additional year at university taking psychology classes and this class and this history class that I didn't need. Riffs Hearts, thank you for the 50 Rand super sticker. They're very kind of you. So, yeah, you have to be qualified. You have to be certified. And then you have to take continuing education every summer to make sure you stay qualified. It's ridiculous. But, yes, you can teach. Yep, you absolutely can teach. Doesn't matter if you're a refugee. Just have to have work permit, which is EAD. I think a lot of people are frustrated as the process started October and don't realize that people went on holiday and are considered. No, exactly, Neff. I think they're just unrealistic. They're very selfish. Very selfish. Me. There's a lot of people came before you. A lot of people waiting a lot longer. Me. Well, I'm done with this. I'm pissed off. You know what? I can't help you there. That's your prerogative to be pissed off. It's your prerogative to be angry. Okay? Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. That's all I can say. That's my empathy level is diminishing frequently. Image in YouTube content creator vid showing the RSA Navy in a rowboat. That was pretty funny. I saw that. Same question over again. I think could pay. No, stop, Boots. It doesn't matter. You know how I stop the questions? I just stop doing these videos. I stop doing these live streams, and I enjoy my life instead of giving it away to folks. That's how I stop these questions. You know, I also stop them. Then you all just run off to WhatsApp groups and get bad information from bullshitters, don't know what they're talking about. Then you stress out. The other way I stop it is I just refuse to address refugee stuff on any videos and do it. It won't stop. I can make a fucking list with every freaking question you could possibly think of, put it on billboards in Joburg, and put it in Pretoria and Cape Town, and people would still ask the same questions. So that's why I do these sessions, because the questions are going to come no matter what. They're going to come no matter what, man. Hey, Faithful Farmer, how you doing up there in New England? Exactly. Westhouse just says, if the Colonel does that, they'll still ask the same questions. Hence the reason they don't watch old streams. It's easier to be annoying and be lazy and come watch this and do no research and then complain. Oh, I did it. Colonel lied to me. I didn't lie to you. You heard what you wanted to hear. Traffic violations are not going to get you in trouble. Feeney says, please be patient, new viewers. I am being patient. What's the first date to open a Leering Center? That's a good question. I know people with their my case still in progress flying next week. Stay away from them. Exactly. Thank you, Utopi. Thank you very much. That's a perfect example of it. It's not updated by whoever's responsible for updating it. And you're sitting there freaking out. Next thing you know, you're leaving in 3 days. How could that be? I've been waiting. It's been saying in progress. Franklin, Tennessee. Tennessee's nice, Derek. I don't know Franklin, Tennessee, though, but it's a nice town, a nice state. Venture Icing says, Marco Rubio appears to be exceptionally competent diplomat politician. What I don't get is how Democrats can win elections with people like Ilhan Omar. Because people don't vote. And then the idiots rouse up their base and go out and vote. There's stupid people in this country. You know, Marco Rubio is brilliant. He's the son of immigrants. He's self-made. He's a smart guy. I'm not a fan of Rubio, but I'm becoming more impressed by the day in his role as Secretary of State. As a senator, he did impress me. I think that gets me anxious, the fact that many people live until they have 3 or 4 days fly. Well, yeah, that's the reality. That's consistently one thing. Thank you very much, Mad Max. That's consistently what we've told people. We keep hearing that from all the refugees I interview. 3 to 4 days is the information to get. Trump has decided to strike Iran. Okay. This is UK report. That doesn't mean anything. That does. Somebody's just people are spreading stuff on X. That's not real. Thank you for 35 red. Leaving pets behind is creating a terrible crisis in this country. Imagine the case is 7,500 less every year as people leave, and as they leave their pets behind. Yeah. Why don't they bring their pets over, snippets? It's not that hard. It's just expensive. If your pets are that important to you, bring them over. Sally, you read on one live that someone said they had to bring a military record. That was a particular case because of who they were and where they served. That's not a norm. If you have to get it, you have to get it. God, my eyes bother me. You're welcome, Shiro. Well, no, it's not shocking me, Joe Texas, that people don't know the program. It doesn't shock me at all. Disappointing you. One of these days, refugees will be going to Greenland. Yep. Viceroy Colonel is epic. Thank you, Philip. I just wish they would deal with the under review now. I'm staying away from my case, but I've heard nothing. When I came across Colonel March, I made sure to watch all his videos first. If people are serious, they will put in the time and research and watch the playlist. Exactly, 360. You haven't asked me many silly questions ever, I can recall, because you kept up. You went back and started from the beginning. It's very considerate of you to do that. I thank you for watching my content and also for not wasting time. Predictions, how many people will be going over in the United States next couple months? Well, come on. That's what financially? You mean a fiscal year? Well, the cap says 7,500, 7,000 dedicated to South Africa. So 7,000. Maybe a lot more. Have to wait and see the flow, how they're coming over. For Oshka, you're welcome. Panic attack 2 days before my flight. And when I couldn't find my passport, looked everywhere for 6 hours, found it packed inside my suitcase. All right, Freya, I'm going to chastise you. You won't take offense, right? That was a stupid thing to do. Hey, Truth Seeker. Never put your passport in your suitcase. Good Lord. Good Lord. There's no basis for that whatsoever. In a carry-on bag, in a purse, sure, but never in a passport, in a suitcase. Well, but at least you got sorted out, Freya. I'm glad you got sorted. That would have been nerve-wracking. Yeah, not everyone thinks the obvious, Max. You're right. But it's not obvious, Max. We tell people on these weeks, every week, go watch those videos. Go read the playlist. Read the stuff. Learn about it. Then come ask questions. Vilby, you're buffering. You're back. I know you left for a while. We will contact you as soon as we're ready, says Strauss. Okay. Riff's Hearth, 350 Rand super sticker. Thank you for that. My husband's job currently is grease and oil systems on mining sites. Will he and European be able to find? Yeah. Well, do you think we not have mining in America? Is he specialized for only one type of mine? Platinum mines? We don't have platinum mines. We have coal mines. We have silver mines. We have gold mines. We have iron mines. We have antimony mines. We have copper mines. We have all kinds of mines on the planet. I mean, yeah, of course. Do mining all over America. Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Kasigi. The document you get when you are booked to your medical says clearly on the last page it takes up to 8 weeks for a sputum. So why are people spreading nonsense here? Yep. And Mad Max is finally saying only for real issues. That's good. Yeah, it was Brain Frog for Freya, but good thing she sorted out. What size animals? Because you can't take your money out, you might as well spend on getting your animals out of the shit. Why can't you take your money out? Where's that coming from? Who said you can't take your money out of South Africa? Where did you get that from? Dude, you keep saying all kinds of things that have no merit to them. Who told you can't take money out of South Africa? You could take R1 million a year without paying taxes out of South Africa. Or at least you can take R1 million per year according to SARS. What are you talking about? You can't take money out. Where does that come from? Are you a multi-billionaire or something? Then you might have a problem. I haven't watched Landman, but people say it's really good. Yes, Frank, the ANC is playing a very dangerous game with the United States. Yep. You're welcome, Rena. Everyone just needs to be patient, says Dems. It's no set process. Have you ever seen the meme about the lady selling apple pies? No, I haven't seen it. Colonel, I do not have R1 billion medical issue, but I'm a spring chicken. But I'm not a spring chicken. I'm also. It is also not enjoyable being in a strange country with no medical options when you do have problems. Yeah, fair enough, Snippets. I don't disagree with you, my friend. You're right. You're right. You're right. But I mean, what do you want me to tell you? I don't know your circumstance. You haven't shared it with me, and I don't ask you to share it with me because there's nobody's business here in chat. I mean, what reassurance do you want? Either your life is in jeopardy and you want out of South Africa because you're worried about being murdered or denied an opportunity or starving to death because you can't get public assistance or get care. Either that's true or it's not true. If that's what you face, then whatever you get over here is light years better. Half a dozen people that I've talked to, their parents died in a public hospital in South Africa because they refused treatment for them. Sat there and watched a father die, going to an attack, couldn't breathe. The doctor's like, oh, he's old. Half a dozen times. Do you want that? Or do you want people to treat you like a human being? Snippets, I got you. I understand where you're coming from. But you are destination shopping, Snippets. I'm not criticizing you, but your questions are questions from someone that wants to immigrate somewhere. This is not immigration. This is not immigration. So many of these questions are about people that want to immigrate. You know what? Go to Australia. Go to New Zealand. Go to Ireland. Immigrate there. This isn't for immigrants. It's for people's lives are in jeopardy. We're trying to save people's lives. That's why we have this program. I'm not being mean to anybody. I'm not directing to anybody. I'm just making a statement here. People are asking repeated questions about this. What about this? What about this? What about this? I appreciate you want to know about it, but if it's the basis for you making a determination whether you're going to be in the program, then you're barking up the wrong tree. You're barking up the wrong tree. You need to find something else. It's not for immigrants. It's for people whose lives are in jeopardy. Helen says, we appreciate it a lot. Now, I have always told the truth, Helen. Thank you very much for that. Jerome, I'm glad I caught you. I don't catch everything. Yes, Virtual Western Cape, you can still apply. Love it when you swear. You're so honest. It makes you feel normal. Well, thanks, Colonel, for the sessions. I think my goldfish memory has forgotten the answers you've given. I'm not putting links up the videos. I'm not spending my time linking the videos. People can go get them on their own. Oh, my goodness. Okay, did I get that already? That was the UK report. I got that one. Moby, what is that? Moby what? Appreciate your patience. Would you mind doing a poll on the status process? That poll's too complicated. I can only put 3 answers in there, 4 max. Can't take them. Too small boat, like bootlickers, will cost me $80,000. Yep, that's right, Madeline. It's expensive. You're welcome, Erlinda. Yeah, Rubio's turning out to be he's turning out to be a very excellent Secretary of State. I was shocked. Oh, Phoenix says, comments for viewers. We continue to share your content to get people here to get correct kind of, so when they come, some people are rude. Oh, gotcha, Phoenix, gotcha. You got time for some of these South Africans, the ones in the States, really just to research. Yep. Exactly. If the balloon went up tomorrow, you wouldn't be asking this question. You'd be like, where's the C-17? How would I get in a plane? Where do I find the Americans? Can I get the hell out of here? That's all you'll be asking tomorrow. Yep. Can win with mail-in balloting, voting fraud, and bribing communities. People need to follow due diligence. Alan saying that many people have debt and they're trying to skip on their debt. Well, here's a word of advice. You want to skip on your debt in South Africa, welch the money you owe to other people? Good luck with that. It won't stop you from becoming a refugee. But South Africans have legal recourse. A case can be referred to states. You know, you're not done with it. And you may have to go back to South Africa one day. And it's also morally irresponsible to abandon your debt. Truth Seeker, thank you for your 7 months. You're very welcome. A couple minutes behind you, but I'm doing okay, Chris. Well, I'm behind on the chat. I'm glad to see you're well, faithful farmer. Wilma's on her PC now. U.S. has a shit ton of caves. Yeah, a lot of caves. Philip Holt, 70 Rand Super Chat. Thank you for that. Okay. Motor Corp CEOs are practically crying because there's severe shortage of people willing to pay to rent apprenticeships. Exactly. I talked about that the other day. Ford Motor Company's complaining. Thank you for the 70 Rand Truth Seeker. Complaining. Do you have any recommendations of books about American? Oh, there's so many, Shiro. So many. There's no time for that right now. Yep. Why don't you find a book you think is interesting and ask for my opinion? That might be better. Go on Amazon and look. Right program ends up in the U.S. Will you change your news program times? No, I won't, Jarethra. No. I will maybe add a news program on my regular channel. People start watching it. If you go to @RealChrisWyatt and start watching that channel, become a subscriber @RealChrisWyatt. One of the mods put a link in there. Please get some subscribers over @RealChrisWyatt. Then I'll start doing a regular news broadcast there too. And I'll do a U.S. focused program. Yep. Well, there's more than 3 time zones in the U.S. There's 5 time zones in the U.S. 6, I think, if you count all of Alaska. Yep. Mother died in public house due to negligence. There you go. There's one example. Pat LeVay promised can I keep Morgan's heart was in the right place. She did. Well, they're not done, Spikel's. SARS is talking with banks to integrate them with all debts. Yep. Fun Black joined a bit late. Still waiting patient for our call. Okay, Philip Holtz, 70 Rand Super Chat. Thank you for that. Good book, Dune. Yeah, Dune is fantastic, but it's fiction. Where's the link? Let's watch the other. Oh, the other link? Okay, that's fine. Nobody put it in there, so I'll do it myself. Oh, wait, there it is. There it is. Okay, Will's just did it. @RealChrisWyatt. Yep, go check it out. Not now. You can go check it out. But that's my news. So it's America's Pulse with Chris Wyatt. That's my original channel that was censored and removed by YouTube for 2 years. 23 months it was off the internet, and I got it back after I demanded it back, and they rescinded it and it gave it back. I don't put a lot of content on it now, but if people start watching, I'll put the time and effort into it. I'm in the boat. Question, what are the most salient points going? I have been approved on all accounts except health. Requested explanations to no avail. I don't know what that means. Requested explanations to no avail from what? Explanations from whom? Explanations about what? All right, Truth Seeker, thank you for patience, says Dems. You're welcome. 40 Rand. Truth Seeker says 70 Rand. I've been a member 7 months. Not sure why YouTube keeps giving a notification of new member. Sent you an email. Oh, it's not a new member. When you reach a threshold, that's what it's supposed to do. I think they're screwed up and they're doing it every month. But you have a castle now. Did you have a castle a month ago? Or is it every time you come on? YouTube's got some problems right now with their stuff. There's people who are members and they're saying you can't comment because you're not a member or you're not a subscriber. It's nonsense. YouTube has got some growing pains right now. In the previous scene, someone asked if J.D. Vance will become president. Will the program still go on? Refugee program will continue unless the law is rescinded. Whether it will favor Afrikaners and South Africans is a different story. I can't answer that. Well, what are you worried about? J.D. Vance doesn't become president for 3 years. Yes, you've had debt. It's a moral responsibility to pay it. Yes, I put it in subscriber mode because it slows the trolls down. Trolls don't want, and bots don't sit around and wait 20 minutes or longer to chat. But if you're already a subscriber or a mod, it shouldn't affect you unless you just subscribed. But as he said, the Truth Seeker's been around for ages. So he sent me an email on the 7th. That was 4 days ago. Is it under Truth Seeker? Or is it under something else? You don't have to tell me what it is. Just tell me if it's under that or not. It is under Truth Seeker. Thank you. Got it. Huh. Wow. Yeah, that's a problem. Well, in your case, Truth Seeker, it's unfortunate, but I don't know what we do about a moron who shared your details. That's just wrong. Yeah, your debts can catch up with you. Yep. And did I miss one there? Philip Holt, 70 Rand. I got that. Have a great day. I see you. Do you ever sleep? Every time I open YouTube, I see you live or your videos. No, so I don't. And don't forget, I've got business. I got taxes to take care of, consulting work to do. I'm planning a trip to Texas for the meet and greet. I've got a trip to South Africa coming up. I've got many, many things going on. Not to mention, I have to get in the queue and buy World Cup tickets. No, just kidding. 80% of the time we do. Kaffee Klatsch should only be for members. You're not a member, Matthew, so you couldn't come in. Now, if I did that, that would show one of two things. Either one, I'm tired of all the stupid questions, or number two, I'm just trying to make money. So if I made the Kaffee Klatsch only for paying members, then it would be just about making money, but that's not what this is about. So in-laws were linked to our case. They decided to withdraw on the second phone call. They now have decided they would like to leave. Well, too bad for them. They're screwing everyone else over, wasting people's times. Either you're in or you're out. This bullshit of going back and forth. It won't severely affect their case, but it's selfish of them to have done that. Very selfish of them. They can put an intake questionnaire now, and I don't know what will happen. It's not a derogatory information. They didn't do anything wrong, but I don't know what will happen. Richard Lambert, good to see you again, man. You are giving the pinky, and all the people are grabbing the hand. Salute to the dedication. Thank you, Colonel Wyatt, for the info and helping us get a better understanding of the program. Danny Roots, dude, it's been 10 months. You got to make a decision. But yeah, I get where you're coming from. A lot of people are discovering the program now. So how many people, let's do this here. I will do a poll now. We got 400 people still here, so start a poll. Way down from where we started. So when did you first hear about the REFUG program? Okay, here we go. February, May 2025. All right. Now, the way to answer this question is it's not going to be every month because I can only put 4 response up there. So if the month you heard about it is the date listed or afterwards, okay? So if you heard about it in February and March, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, if you heard about it between February and April, then you're going to answer February. If you heard about it between May and October, you're going to answer May. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, this doesn't work. Doesn't work very well for a poll. Just try to answer as best you can, okay? Pick the date closest to when you heard about it, okay? I'm just curious. Will's, yes, you got a poll. Madeline loves the polls. Now, I can't ask, I can list every month, that would be great, but I can't do that. I can only put 4 answers up there. YouTube needs to fix their polling so it works better. Give you more characters to ask questions, too. Michelle, people want polls. I gave them a poll. You got to give people what they want. Wow. So 75% of you heard about it between February and May, 23% after May, and only a few in November and January. But some of you are just now deciding to do it. Yeah, I did an interview with Neil Diamond. That's correct. Oh, you've been what? Yeah, Richard, you've been around a long time, since before the riots in KZN in 2021. Michelle will do polls all day long. Yeah. I don't have time to make polls ahead of time. You guys think I have a lot of free time. You think I have a lot of time. I need a break, a nap, and something to eat. I'm exhausted here on this Sunday. I've been broadcasting since 8 o'clock this morning. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 8 hours of broadcasting, and I'm only taking a few minute break in between. I can see how long and how many people have been following you. Based on what, Jared? Well, that's that poll. Half the people have answered it. No, I can make it so only members can view it, too. You're talking about chatting. What was my thought on Trump going to Davos? I hadn't really thought about it, Weimar. I wouldn't do anything, Beulah. Just they don't show up. They just waste somebody's chance to get out of the country. But don't jeopardize yourself. All right, Marcel. Yeah, okay, we're gonna wrap up here shortly. Arctic says yes, but the 2 hours you waste in the stormers are not on us. Oh, where's my cattle prod? It's time to zap Arctic with a cattle prod. 2 hours I waste on the stormers. You know what? You're right. I did waste on the stormers. What an embarrassment. What an embarrassment. Fun Blair, the problem with YouTube is if I take a break, then I lose my viewership, and we're growing and more people are learning about it. I discovered your channel 24 thanks to my dad, an interview on business. Okay. Cooking with the Colonel. Neil Diamond was sacked after coming to South Africa for putting Durko in disrepute. I didn't know about that. Huh. No, the USA is not an excuse to dodge responsibilities. Yep. 5 minutes to the Sharks. Well, the Sharks were bad too. The Lions are the only team to win this weekend. D-Dog says, by the way, you're cool. Well, thank you. Yeah, all of us rugby supporters are embarrassed. Yep. All right, so most people have done it then. Yeah, you should ask him if you want him linked. Yeah, okay. There might have been a reason. That's news to me that Neil Diamond was fired. I didn't hear that. All right, guys. We'll see how I condemn this. Latest estimates are the Islamic regime is massacred. 3,000. Wow. I don't know where that's coming from. Visegrad, huh? Let me go to X, Visegrad. I mean, any account called Visegrad is, you know, I know, but they tend to be pretty good. Visegrad 24. Here we go. I don't see anything here talking about thousands of people. The Islamic regime has murdered so many people in Tehran, it's difficult to count all the bodies. Wherever the camera turns, there are more. Don't be indifferent. Let me see this. There's 2 people dead, and they're acting like it's a lot. Here's a bunch of body bags. A lot. I can't see bodies in them, but they appear to have bodies in them. There's at least 60 or 70 here. Wow. According to Visegrad, IRGC Colonel Mahdi Rahimi has been killed by anti-regime protesters. Polish resistance fighter and Warsaw Uprising veteran Wisław Lekowicz, codename Anchor, died this morning, age 100. He was the last survivor of the legendary Motla battalion, which went through 64 full days of heroic uprising in 1943. Wow. They're mostly posting the same thing over again. Regime forces captured indiscriminately shooting civilians in Tehran. Wow. This is true. It's horrific. Trump has got to do something or his credibility is going to go out the window. Hey, Sue Marie. Night Owls. Yeah, we'll be one tonight. You found it where he put it in the tool bag. Karen. All right, that's going to be it for today's Kaffee Klatsch, folks. I hope we answered the questions. Thank you. All right. No energy drinks here. No, the Chamber of Commerce didn't do anything for refugees, so I don't know why he would have been sacked. They didn't do anything. I think we're going to wake up to a Trump in Iran. I think we're going to wake up and U.S. is going to be in Iran or doing something in Iran the next 48 hours. Yep. I think it's going to happen the next 48 hours, folks. 35 Rand. Terror alert. What's this? Okay. President is said to be contemplating military action against Iran and presented with a range of targets. Yeah, that's news report earlier. Thank you. That's not it. That's not what I wanted. Thank you for that, Mad Max. Yeah, I'd never heard he was fired. That's news to me. That's news to me. I don't know why it would be fired. They didn't do anything for refugees. They weren't trying to do anything. They're just trying to answer people's questions. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys. Break time. Take care. We'll see you later tonight, 6 hours from now, if you want to tune in. Be sure to hit the like button if you haven't done already. We got 370 likes. That's a lot less than I expected. Anyway, thanks, everybody. Cheers. God bless, and see you later.